Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic for today is centered around this 56-year-old man. It's a Nigerian man. He's been married for 16 years. And he obviously don't have a child, only for him to discover that his wife had lost her womb before they even got married. So that means that he's lived a life for 16 years thinking they were going to have a child, and they did it. And the woman knew that she lost her womb in an abortion that she did before they met. So we're going to be discussing this. I want to know your thoughts on this. Are we talking about dishonesty? Are we talking, why would she hide that kind of information? How can this kind of thing happen? It's not strange. We've heard stories like this before, but we just want to get your opinion on what you would do. How would you handle the situation? Should he forgive her? Does she even have a right to ask for forgiveness? What can they do? Join our conversation by calling us on the numbers on your screen, 0810-7641-679, or you can tweet to us on x.com, #yourviewtvc. You could also go on our YouTube stream right now and put your comment there. We'd love to hear from you. So we're discussing the lies, we are discussing the torture, and the fact that a man has been lied to for 16 years. Should there be forgiveness? How can this be dealt with? Mariam, when you read the story, what was your opinion?
You know, first of all, I felt truly sorry for this man to have lived, with a wife who lied to him for so long. It must have only been heartbreaking to finally realize that probably all the places that they have gone, the sort of money that he would have been putting in, and both of them, putting in, thinking that this was something that could be sorted out, and she knowing from the get-go that there was nothing could be done, and then years after, you say to the man, this is what happens. I don't know about forgiveness. I mean, it's important to forgive because in the end, you do it for yourself, but I think that's one of the hardest thing to forgive, and to think that someone could do that to somebody for many years, it's heartbreaking. Now, but a few questions that I have is that in the years that they were seeking help, was he part of, the journey? Because many times, for me, the only way she could have hidden it is, well, there are two things. Either she deliberately did in such a way that he was not there whenever they had to do like hospital, or she would lie about going to hospital, or he let her, like most men do, where they allowed the woman to go and sort herself out. And then maybe years later now, when he finds out, is when he finds out exactly what's happening. Because I was wondering, like, was there ever a time during that?
Yes, you never went for a scan together.
Did not go for a scan together, did not seek a second opinion that the doctor or whoever it is was from his end, So for me to have gone 16 whole years, but also I understand that a woman, if she has something to hide, or anybody that has something to hide, can go for as long and as far as they need to go to keep it a secret. Unfortunately, a lot of time has passed. He hopefully is able to still have children if that is what he still wants. But what that woman did was for me, I would say unforgivable, but I guess it can be forgiven, but it was so wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that the lady, she's very mean. She's very mean, and I don't want to use the word wicked, but because...
Call it what it is.
Honestly, she is very wicked, and I'm just... In fact, when I heard this story, I was devastated. I was like, how can you stay with a man for 16 years, knowing fully well that you guys can't have kids, and you have not come out openly to come and say this and all? Okay, let's now look at her from her own side of view, saying maybe she doesn't really want to say what, she wanted to keep it as a secret. Fine. You will have brought out other ways, other means of how they can have children. You should have thought of adoption. You should have thought of surrogacy. You should have thought of so many other things. If she really wants to cover up, she will have still continue with the lie, kind of say, okay, and since we can't have kids, let's try and adopt, or let's try and do this, let's try and do that. She will have just sorted out other means for them to have kids. But for her to just keep quiet like that, I'm just wondering how much more lies she has in the course of the marriage. I'm just wondering how much she has gone through and all of that. And then number two, I'll also say the guy, he didn't really ask questions, you know, her past relationships, what she did, the kind of life she lived before, you know, getting married and all.
People can
Lie.
They can lie, but you know, you can still find out.
Like why?
Somehow you can still find out and all, but still, you can find out from her friends.
That's if you suspect.
Are you supposed, or like, so you can, some friends might not know. Let me hear,
Yeah.
because you were very pained when
Yeah. I was very pained when I read this because I really feel for the man. Because this is just a case of sleeping with your enemy, being in bed with your enemy. You understand? And that, it brings me to the question, like, what do people actually think love is? What is your definition of love? Does love really exist in marriages or relationships or partnerships? Because you begin to question people's definition of love. You might feel that you're on the same journey or path with somebody, but obviously you're not. And, you know, with what Mariam said, in terms of manipulation, someone can manipulate you not to find the truth because they know they have something to hide. They will manipulate you to the point that, you know, they will use with love, everything to even, they might even forge documents or whatever just to distract you. You don't know the extent that people might go just to manipulate you, to distract you, not to find the truth. So this is painful and this is so sad, you know, as regards this particular issue. And I can just, I wonder in my head when I read this thing, that imagine if the man is a prayerful man and he wakes up at night and he's kabashing and every day you're hearing his prayer points, you know what he desires. 16 years. For him to be talking about it and he's pained. And you watch this person that you claim that you care about, you love, that you're married to, go through this for 16 years. You robbed him of, you didn't give him a choice. Because see, when it comes to having children, there are no guarantees in life. You can be married to somebody, both of you are healthy, both of you are, everything is fine.
It just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen. God just feels that it's not the right time. But then at least the person has a choice. You don't take away people's power of choice away from them. What are you so scared of? And a lot is happening now in society where people hide a lot of things. They don't put things on the table before marriage, before relationships. And it's sad. Well,
so for me, when I read the story and I'm like, this is really, really like, there's the breach of trust is is a huge breach of trust because you now have a couple that you'll be wondering what other lie did she say? Like, what, is there anything she has told me in the past 16 years that is true? What, can I ever believe anything she says again? Like, if she says anything now, you're like, it's 500 naira. I'm like, okay, that was how you said you had a womb. The TV is off. Okay, that was how you said you had a womb.
It's morning.
It's morning. Oh, let me check outside.
Let me check outside.
You know, like, if you say it's morning, I'll be like, let me check outside because that was how you said you had a womb. You know, so it's a major breach of trust.
Yeah.
And when it comes to forgiveness, I can forgive you, but trusting anything you say again, the likelihood of that happening, that marriage already, there's a big rift in the marriage. And the thing is, a lot of women, is that marriage? A lot of women probably, or even men, because this has happened from both men as well as women, where a partner knows that they have a medical condition and that still they don't disclose it because of the fear of what would happen if the person knows I have this medical condition. Bringing me to, we don't explore the power of science. If you've lost your womb, you can still have eggs. Eggs can be frozen.
Yeah.
IVF can take place. Somebody can carry the baby for you. We don't explore it. I knew someone that was getting married in her 40s, and she told her fiancé that I have fibroid. Let's go and meet my gynecologist and obstetrician together, so that before the wedding day, like I know her well enough to know that they had this first checkup 3 months before getting married. 3 months, full disclosure. That marriage is born on the bedrock of we're honest with one another. I have fibroid. It might affect our ability to have children. So the man knew what he was signing up for. He went to the hospital. They did checks. They checked her name, checked on her, and said, okay, we'll do surgery. Should we do it before the wedding or after the wedding? As in, like, the level of honesty that if you are married, marriage is a place where we are vulnerable, open and not ashamed. You are naked with each other. So why would you now be hiding one part of yourself or something that Why would somebody know about something and your husband does not know about it, especially if you know that this your husband is something he wants? Ha.
I was wondering, in the 16 years, she didn't have a period?
No, she do have period.
Yes,
Can you have period?
yeah, like if you have eggs, you can have
Yes, you
period.
can.
Yes, so she didn't have that for 16 years. He didn't notice, or she kept that life for 16 years, pretended she was
Having her period.
her period, you know.
I have a very story.
so
I don't know if Mariah shared the story before, but it's someone close to us that we attended. Mariah and I attended the wedding, and the person
Talked about it recently.
faked being pregnant. I was at the wedding ceremony. We all saw the
Baby
the
bump.
stomach, the bump. Room was prepared for baby, and she wasn't pregnant. Everybody was expecting twins. Bought everything 2-2, and she wasn't pregnant. Like, some people get mind.
How did you guys find out?
Baby will not come now. Baby
not
is
come.
supposed to come. Will not
It's-
come.
it's-
So
yeah.
people lie, and you know I like the word that you use, manipulate as well. So they lie and they manipulate. Recently I posted that the older that I get, the more I realize that many people lack basic decency. Because you are here, you're dealing with people, a person, and you think at least that basic decency, at least some form of integrity, but many people don't have that. You're here making friendships, having, getting into marriages, having business partners, but there are people just sitting down waiting for how they can find ways to just
scam you.
destroy you, scam you, or whatever, lie about you, or whatever. So the thing with marriage is that it is a risk. You're hoping that whoever it is that you're ending up with really is your partner, has your back, wants the best for you. I always say that there's some marriages that break up, not because they are not meant for each other, but you realize that this man wants a child and I cannot give this person a child. I'm sorry, this relationship cannot continue. Some people don't love you to the extent that they are willing to walk away so that you can go ahead and have your own dream, or it is whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
Let me take this call. Godfrey has called in. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello. Oh, so sorry we missed that call.
So you realize that, like, I have an auntie and uncle that decided, they got married and decided that they don't want to have children. See,
Nigerian.
Yes, they are Nigerians, even though they don't live here. See, life is up. See, I always say it on this show, marry your type. There's always somebody for somebody. If you have a condition, there's also someone that does not like children. There's also someone that does not want to be a father. There's also someone that does not want to be a mother. Find that person lay your cards on the table and find that person that you don't have to pretend that will accept you for who you are. You understand? Because, like, another friend of mine, she was supposed to get married. She's been in this relationship for about 2 years. And one day she called me and she said that she was cleaning up the guy's place and she saw some drugs. So she wanted to know, like, as in what they were and everything. So she now found out that her parents are both doctors. So, and then she had 2 of her sisters are doctors. So by the time she asked, because she used to be a banker, we found out that the drugs were to treat erectile dysfunction. So when she was not gisting me, and I asked her, and I said, is it that the two have not been done, or the thing has not been tested, the car has not been tested? She now said no, that the guy keeps saying that he's born again, that when they marry, that his church does not allow. And I said, so even when people are talking or whatever, nothing happens. She just said no, that he does not even allow for those things.
He doesn't get that far.
Yes, and so she now found out, and that's how that relationship ended. But guess what?
What?
This other person is not my friend, but her own friend. So when this whole thing happened and we're not having conversation, we now found out that another friend that is her friend went through the same thing and then got married. And then I found out that it was like, what's the smallest car?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
B2.
It was like a B2 for children. You know, these children cars are quite, and it was crazy. So she had to dissolve the marriage because, you can't work with that.
Let me take Yaya from Port Harcourt before I come to you, Aramatu. Welcome to the show,
I can't work with that.
Welcome to the show, Yaya. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
This is my first time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So today's topic is a very interesting one. So for my advice to that man is, okay, thank you. My advice to the man is to forgive the lady. To me, there's nothing that not to forgive.
Okay.
But the only thing, he has to take another wife. And the lady should not leave that marriage. The lady should stay in that marriage, and the man should take the second wife. So that if she has children with that second wife, both of them will raise those children. Because the woman is a very wicked woman. They would have opened up to that man.
Thank you for your contributions. Yeah. We all have different ways we think about.
So if I will answer his call, I don't think I'll still stay with that kind of person. That person can deceive me to this level. I don't think I can stay with that person. We're just going to part ways.
You can do this to me. What else would you do to me?
Exactly. So I'll just come from the angle of the fact that we women will have to be very careful the kind of life we live when we are young. You see, like, I don't know what the reason is why she couldn't come out to say this was what happened to her. But I know that if we're a bit more careful when we're young, we should be very careful with the kind of life we live and the way we do our things when we are young. All these having extra premarital sex before marriage, and taking you see a lot of girls will tell you they will go, they sleep with their
relationship boyfriend and
they sleep with, and then they start taking all these pills. Sometimes these pills, they have side effects. A lot of them can affect you after a while. I know of somebody who said, no, me, I can't use, my boyfriend can't use CD on me. It has to be raw and all of that. And she kept on getting, pregnant and taking it out. And that was what now happened. She now got, there's this,
married.
She got PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. It was so bad that it damaged her womb from inside. So they had to remove her womb. So all of these things, they happen. So we just have to be careful with the kind of life we live before we get married. So these things are things you can avoid. It just depends on the kind of lifestyle you're living before you get married. So
let me take Chioma. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Tokwe?
Very well, thank you.
My greetings to Amaka and the other people, Mura, everybody, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. You see, Tokwe, that woman is a very wicked woman. Yes. Unless if the husband is guilty of the whole thing, if the husband is the one that did the abortion for her, she's supposed to ask the husband to marry another wife so that she can take care of that wife and the newborn. She's a wicked woman. She should get her from that man's house. I'm a woman. I don't support adoption. I don't support surrogate. Let that woman get out of that man's house so that the man can be able to get a wife. She doesn't deserve any forgiveness. God will not forgive her. Human beings cannot forgive her. The husband will not forgive her. She's a wicked woman. How can she know that the pregnancy, her womb is condemned and she's sleeping with such a man? Unless if the man is guilty, the man is the person that destroyed her womb, unless that. If not so, my contribution is that man should throw her out of the house and marry another wife. Thank you.
Thank you. So obviously, the general consensus in terms of what should be the next line of action is marry a different wife. I think that sometimes, as we've had this conversation, we've not acknowledged something very important, which is the fact that if you're having infertility issues, both parties should always go to the hospital to check themselves. And in the line of being checked, the information would have come out one way or the other that there's a problem somewhere. Most men don't go for these checks. They feel, you do the check, give me the information. You do the check, let me know what's going on. So you can easily be deceived. Even the story that I mentioned that is very close, that we went for the wedding, I was like, did you not follow her for any antenatal? He didn't. They didn't go for any antenatal together. They said she was saying, no need, I can go alone, no need. They said, no need. But like, you are a father, you have vested interest. If you want to have a child, and you can see that your wife keeps saying, don't worry, I'm the one going for treatment, you must refuse to be manipulated.
See, when a woman is on a mission, you can't tell when she's telling.
So I have this story. It's not in connection with woman and man, but this is how far a human being can go to manipulate.
Let's take the story after the break.
Okay.
We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.